Hello guys, Czar here. Let's talk some Monster Hunter Wilds, and today I want to give you some tips and tricks to get you to hunt Arkveld. So Arkveld in the beta, more known as Chained Arkveld, which I suspect is probably like a nerfed version of Arkveld, maybe with a couple of less moves, maybe a little bit less HP. Since it seems like he's kind of the flagship monster for this version of Monster Hunter, we're still gonna get a more beefed up version of this monster when the release comes out in 2 weeks. So if you tried hunting Arkveld during the first beta, you probably didn't have that great of a time, unless you are a very experienced Monster Hunter player or you actually know how to play around the mechanics for Monster Hunter Wilds. You probably got one of these screens right here.
Not really. Might be dead. Yeah.
Ah,
Damn.
oh, oh no, there's no way. There's no way. So if you're tired of running out of time or getting your ass sent back to camp, I'm gonna try to help you, so let's get right into it. To start off, we have to clarify a couple of things. We have to remember that we are in a very undergeared state to fight this monster, which means he deals a lot of damage because our defense is low, and we don't do as much damage because we don't have the proper weapons. Because of that, it's very important to know that this is a DPS race, which means you have to be dealing damage almost all the time, and also be extremely careful not to get hit, because that's gonna lead you into having to heal, which loses you time, or also getting carded, which also loses you even more time. So getting proper gear from the beta is also very important. We can't get upgrades, but the abilities that you have on your armor are very important. The starting armor, the Hope armor, gives you Divine Blessing. So having Divine Blessing level 3 is very important, as it has a 50% chance of negating damage that you take. And for those players that like to use the clash mechanics, I can also recommend having 2 parts of the Doshagame set, as it's gonna give you a buff to your damage after you use a clash mechanic. So for the tips, let's start with Enviromental Resources. There is a couple of things you can use to make your fight against Arkveld easier or faster, or just to do more damage in general. Starting with vine traps. In the arena where you fight Arkveld, there are a couple of vine traps up on the trees where you can use to trap him and just get some free damage off of him. So be sure to watch out for the trees and use those in your favor. They are gonna keep him down for a couple of seconds where you can either sheath, heal, or just deal as much damage as you can. Also keep in mind, dealing damage to the head is gonna give you the most damage possible. So be sure to be hitting his head as much as possible, because this fight is gonna have you dealing as much damage as possible. If you're hitting any other body parts, you might run out of time. I know it's risky, but it's your best bet at beating Arkveld. The next 2 come kinda in a combo. After fighting Arkveld for a couple of minutes, he is gonna change areas and he's gonna go fight Raydao. Raydao is gonna specifically spawn just for this turf war. And you have the option of interrupting this fight, and if you do, Raydao is gonna help you by dealing damage to Arkveld. He's gonna do between 2 to 3 rail shots, which can do a lot of damage. And in that same area, you also have the boulders, which are gonna be up on the arena, and you can use those to also topple down Arkveld and get some free damage, similar to what we did with the vine traps. So just in this area, you should have about 2 to 3 boulders that you can knock on Arkveld's head to get some free damage, both from the boulder and also some free combos to do as much DPS as possible, together with also Raydao. But be careful, the rails from Raydao can hit you as well, so be sure to be far away when he's zapping away at Arkveld. If you don't interrupt that turf war, I'm not sure if Arkveld recovers HP from Raydao, but he definitely does charge away from him, and that possibly could also lead to an HP recovery, which is probably gonna make you fail that hunt. Next, when Raydao charges up his chain and he gets the 4 chains that are shining in this blue light, if you hit the chains when they are stuck into the ground, I'm not exactly sure if you need to do all 4 or just 2 is enough. he is gonna get knocked down as well. So you are getting some free damage out of him again. So don't be afraid when he's locking you with the chains like he's Kratos. Just let him knock them down, dodge them away, and slash those chains away as much as you can. So a couple of smaller things that also helped me hunt Ray down. Ray down. Ray down. A couple of smaller things that can help you in your hunt against Arkveld are some of the pods. So I'm not exactly sure where I got severing pods. I was looking through the footage, but I couldn't really find it. But severing pods can cause wounds.
Check the wounds.
So having the extra wounds can also help you to charge your weapon down for your final moves and also topple the monster down again. And you also have the thorn grass pods where you get around the bushes where you fight Arkveld. And those also can lead him to flinch. So if you place it on his head, on his body, and you hit exactly where that pod landed, you can get the monster to flinch as well. So be sure to use that at your disposal. When Arkveld grabs you, I highly recommend that you have a flash pod equipped. I usually have the flash pod equipped to the whole fight. And when he grabs you down, you can just shoot the pod and you're gonna escape his claws. Because I tried stabbing his hand with the knife so many times and not a single time I managed to escape. If you did, please leave a comment because I really want to know if it is possible. One other extra tip is you can make armor skin potions that increase your defense so you don't have to be healing all the time in this fight. You just need some adamant seed, some bitter bug essence, which you get from bitter bugs, and some honey. All three combined, you can make some armor skin potions, which are going to increase your defense even after you're dead, and that can help you have a longer survivability throughout this fight. And lastly, don't forget the tools you have at your disposal. Besides the pods, besides the traps you have lying around, you also have your own traps. You can carry 2 vine traps with you and 2 shock traps. If you use those, their effectiveness is gonna drop down, but it's also, again, free damage to deal on Arkveld and make your hunt easier again. So if you use all of the tools we talked about in this video right here, you should be able to knock his ass down and tell your friends you beat the shit out of Monster Hunter Kratos. And that should be about it. This fight is a very complex fight where you're not dealing enough damage with your weapons. You have a very hard monster that's very fast and moving around and has a lot of HP and also deals a shit ton of damage. So using a couple of these tips can make your life easier in hunting this Apex monster. So I hope this helps you out. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if this helped you out. And I'll catch you in the next one. Xar out.